Let's talk about the huge reunion episode where we've got 4.8, which is Wilmington, which is, you know, as fans, we've been waiting it. Poor Roger's been waiting.
Yeah,
you know,
Roger's
and
been waiting, all right.
It happens kind of by accident, and there's this rush of excitement you can see with the two of them being together, and so it runs right into the very romantic hand-fasting. So it's a passionate episode, but it also is an episode that sets up, again, a whole lot that's going to happen. So how did you guys feel about how you wanted to, when you came together, how you guys wanted to play that?
There was a lot that we wanted to say. There was a certain way that we wanted to present that story. It was very important to us. It's very important to the book readers. It's hugely important to the book readers. It's very much a milestone in the relationship for Roger and Brianna. I mean, this is the first time that they'll have had sex.
Yeah.
This is them consummating their relationship. Their albeit a temporary marriage, but it's the consummation of that marriage, of that union, of that commitment to each other that Roger's been waiting so long for. And I think, you know, in spite of what happened and perhaps Roger's poor timing and the miscommunication, I think that he knew deep down that Brianna felt the same way and that this was something that was inevitably going to happen.
Right.
Just, you know, they've had that separation. Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of conflict for each of them. It's all very heightened, and I think they come together in this kind of this really beautiful way. But Sophie and I had discussed a lot about how precious that moment was, how important that moment was, and how we wanted to capture that union of Roger and Brianna in a very specific way, a beautiful way. It's an amazing moment.
But it goes from afterglow to, oh no, really fast.
Yeah.
And it kind of also, in its own way, you have that Highlander celebration that is your first fight, and then this is the doozy of fights.
Oh, but this is the fight.
This is the fight.
This is the fight.
This is the fight.
If you thought that was a fight that they had in, what is it, 403?
Yeah.
If you thought that wasn't a fight,
no,
that was a lover's tiff. This is a fight.
This is a fight. And in a way, you know, is it frustrating to play, or does it feel like you're really leaning into the stubbornness of both of the characters? That this is really, you have to play out that their worldviews, they're young, and their worldviews are so young that this is kind of seems like a natural byproduct.
Qualities that make Roger and Brianna clash. These are things that make, you know, the way that they deal with this, they're differing opinions. They're both from very opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of Roger's very kind of a traditional, wants to do things a certain way. Brianna's a very modern woman. She's very much got her own opinion.
Right.
She's strong, independent. You know, she's very much ahead of her time, I feel. And that's what's so great about Roger and Brianna. That is what makes them such an interesting and honest relationship, is it doesn't always work and they clash.
Right. Yeah.
And when they clash, it's quite epic.
It's
and
epic. That's
that's something I've always really enjoyed about their relationship. I enjoyed reading about it, and I think it's something that Sophie and I are very aware of, and I think that we want to bring to the screen. It's a lot of their kind of stubborn, obnoxious qualities.
That wasn't the plan.
When you called tearing off into bloody nowhere, a plan.
I would have told you, I didn't know where we stood after the last time we talked.
But they love each other.
do.
Deep down, they absolutely love each other. And it's just one of those things that, you know, when you have that kind of a conflict in a relationship, they each have their flaws.
Yeah.
Their flaws come out and, you know, they come to locked horns at times because of that. But there's honesty in that. There's truth in that. Relationships aren't easy. They aren't black and white. They aren't simple.
Right.
And I loved all the kind of, there was a huge conversation started on social media off the back of 403 and the argument that they had, and their kind of perspectives on the proposal scene and how they each dealt with that. And I loved watching that, and I loved reading it, and I loved how people started to take sides, essentially.
Totally did,
and I found that absolutely fascinating, and that happened because people could relate to certain aspects of that argument and the way that it kind of unfolded. And the reason for that is because I believe that there's truth. Their relationship, I feel, is very real.
Yes.
And after the post-coital argument in 408, I think demonstrates that again. It's like, oh, everything's bliss, it's all lovely, and then just, no.